Hello and welcome to the another day of learning, another lecture on learning, allegations and mixtures. So let's focus on basically it's about the weighted average. It's weighted average. I was talking in my previous lecture on averages and partnership. While I was doing the averages, we talked about the simple average. We also looked at the deviation method of calculating the average, which was one of the important concepts. During that time, we did talk about the weighted average, a little bit of introduction to weighted average. Far more important is the allegation, which is a complete application of the weighted average. So what I do is I'll start with an introduction to the weighted average once again. So let's do a little bit of rehearsal, and then from there we'll venture into the allegation. Let's understand what is the definition of allegation, therefore, and then see what are the questions based on allegation. Right, so technically it is nothing but the concept of weighted average. If you see from high school perspective, more than allegation, we kind of all it know. So basic is nothing but the weighted average. All right, that's a kind of a word that you would have used in the schools technically. Let's take a look at this. Let's get on to the lecture. Therefore, let's quickly revise a bit on the weighted average, and then I will talk about the allegation. Sure, all towards the end of the lecture, maybe in the last 30 minutes or so, I will be talking about the removals and replacements, which is one of the very important concepts in addition to allegation that we are going to discuss here as a part of this particular lecture. Therefore, it's basically a two-point agenda. One, we definitely look at the allegations, and second one, we also look at the removals and replacements. Here we go with the lecture. Let's get started. Let me introduce you to the weighted average once again, because which forms the core for this entire lecture. Say assume that we have two commodities A and B. The price of the first commodity is 15 rupees. Say let now, so I've written the highlights out here. Say this is 15 rupees. The price of the second commodity is 20 rupees. Let's assume so. The price of the second commodity is 20 rupees. The quantity somebody brought is 20 kgs. 20 kgs. I've just put the gist of the matter in the table because I'm quickly reminding you about what we discussed in the weighted average. And let's say that okay, the quantity that they brought of the second variety is 30. Assume that both are nothing but the types of some cereal. Say assume it's nothing but let's call it as rice. Right now, so price of the first type of rice, type A, is nothing but 15 rupees per kg. Second one, type B, is 20 per kg. The quantity that you want to mix all for type A is 20 kgs, type B is 30 kgs. You decided to mix them, and you want to form a new commodity called C, let us say. So therefore, what should be the price that you need to, what would be the mixed, what is the price of this mixed commodity? Right now A and B mixed together, you are forming another new variety called C. Therefore, what is the price of that particular commodity? Simply put, it's a weighted average. You will say that okay, type A 15 into 20, you'd have learned in the previous class, 15 and 20. Therefore you will say that okay, the total amount 15 into 2, 15 into 20, 300 rupees. What does this become? 20 rupees per kg. How many kgs? 30 kgs. Therefore 30 into 20, 600 rupees. That's the amount. Alright, you are mixing both of them. Sure, alright, now you are mixing both of them. That is 300 plus 600 divided by how many kgs that you are buying. So you are buying a total of 50 kgs. Therefore divided by 50, that is 900 divided by 50, which is rupees 18 per kg. Therefore you say that the price of this new mixture is going to be rupees 18 per kg. Of course, yes, the average should lie between the smaller and the larger of the given two numbers. Between 15 and 20 we have 18. So therefore all it now it has to be 18 kg, so 18 rupees per kg. Right, pretty simple one. So technically what did you do here? All it know what did you do here? Rate of the first commodity, quantity of the first commodity, plus rate of the second commodity and the quantity of the second commodity, divided by quantity of the first plus quantity of the second. So that's what you did. So therefore you got the rate of the average commodity, average rate, weighted average rate. All right, now so what is the rate of this? What is the average of this? Now you form the new one. What is the rate at which this one or the new commodity has to be sold, which has become 18? Now this is what you kind of learned there. All right, this is what we kind of learned there. All right, so therefore all right, now so any parameter can be found out. All right, now there are R1, Q1, R2, Q2, R average. Now these are the unknowns. So one of the unknown could be there. Yeah, in that class, let me quickly remind you, I also said that hey, the quantity need not be an absolute value. Quantity can be a proportional value as well, which means the ratio will do here. Hey, would I have taken this as 2:3 ratio? Will my answer would have worked similar? Yes. So you can say that 15 rupees per kg at the rate of 2, all right, I taken 2 kgs of the first variety, all right, plus rate of the second one, that is 20 rupees per kg here, 20. So how much you have taken? You have taken three proportions of this divided by what you need to be adding, 2 plus 3. Therefore you need to be adding 2 plus 3 in this case, which is nothing but 5. So here also your answer will turn out to be 18, right? Now so 30 plus 60, 90. 90 divided by 5, which turns out to be 18. Same number, it turns out to the same number. So again, I'm reminding you the point that the quantity need not be an absolute value. The quantitative factor can be expressed in terms of an absolute value, or it could be a ratio, or it could be a percentage. In the sense, it can be either absolute or it can be abstract. Either ways, it is fine. The quantity, right? Whereas the price factor, the qualitative factor, the price signifies the qualitative factor of the element. Qualitative factor has to be in terms of absolute figures. Now I can't say that, hey, I will write this 15 and 20 as 3:4. No, never do that. All right, now that's not what we are intending to do. Right, that's clear there. That's clear there. So let's take a look at this. All right, now this time let's say what is given to me. So quantitative factor, when I look at this particular question, price of A is questioned, price of A is questioned. The quantitative factor, can I write it as a ratio? Yes. Right, can I write as a ratio? Of course, yes, you can write as 2:3. Let me call this as an X. Let me call this as an X. I need to find out X. That's a question here. Question here is what? The average price is given. The price of B is given. The price of A is unknown. The quantity in which you mix these two commodities is given. How would I have done this? Let X into 2. X into 2 plus 3 or 20 into 3. 20 into 3 divided by 2 plus 3 is equal to 18. This time what is unknown here? This X is unknown here. All right, therefore you are saying that, okay, 18. All right, also therefore you will say 2x plus 60 is equal to this 5 shifts on the other side, 90. Therefore X is nothing but 15. All right, now so therefore 2x is equal to 30, thereby X is equal to 15. Simple one. So anything can be an unknown, isn't it? Anything can be an unknown. All right, let's take a next one here. All right, now this is where I'm coming to. So we have understood now. The ratio part is clear now. So in the sense, this need not be an absolute number. Even this can be a ratio number, that will be good enough for us. All right, let's come back to this. Now let's take a look at this. Now author is saying that, hey, why don't you tell me the ratio of quantities? In this question, author is saying that, what is the ratio of quantities? Can you tell me what is this X is to Y? Because absolute you will not be able to tell. Will I be able to tell the ratio of quantities? Yes, you should be. Let's take a look. How do I do that? So how do I do this? 15 into X. Because price of the first type of commodity A, type A is what? 15 rupees per kg. How many kgs I am buying? X kgs. Fair enough. Plus how much I am buying, how many kgs of the second type I am buying? Y. What is the price? 20. Therefore 20Y divided by what is the quantities, friends? X and Y. That's a quantity I am buying. Thereby what is the average? The average is becoming 18 rupees per kg. Good. So let's understand what I want. I don't want to know what is X and Y. Instead I want to know the ratio of the quantities, because I'll not be able to tell what is X. I'll not be able to tell what is Y, but the relationship between X and Y can be said, right? So therefore you would say that, okay, 15X plus 20Y is equal to 18x plus 18y. Put all x on one side, put all on y on the other side. Therefore, you would say that, okay, so here 3x is also equal to 2y. Therefore, x by y is nothing but 2 by 3. So you are trying to say that the ratio of the quantities are in the ratio 2:3. In fact, that is what we were talking through this particular class. Sometimes I made this 15 unknown, sometimes I made this 18 unknown. All right, now this time I made this ratio itself unknown. Okay, now look at this particular thought. Beautiful proposition. This can be done. This can be done, right? But then we'll not be discussing as simple as this as we go along. Now the same thought can be expressed like this, friends. So all right, now we understood how to work this question using the weighted average. We understood we can create this simple equation. Right? We can create this equation. From this equation, I can obtain the ratio, right? I can obtain the ratio. Now listen to me carefully. So how I put this as an allegation. So what is the allegation? Allegation is technically finding this ratio itself. Whenever the ratio in which you should mix is the question mark, we call that question as an allegation. Nothing but it's a part of the weighted average. It's a part of weighted average only when we want the ratio of the quantities. Now listen to that. Listen to this carefully, friends. Rate of the first type, rate of the second type. There is a type 1 and type 2. Keep the structure in your mind. Type 1 and there is a type 2. Now what I write under the type 1? Rate of the type 1. Rate of the type 2, rate, all right, no rate, that's a price here. In this case, it's a price, rate of the type 2, right? And then you'll get the average weighted rate, RW I will rate, weight of the, all right, now that's a rate of the weighted one, that's an average weighted one, all right, rate of the weighted one. So what you get here is the ratio of quantity of the first one and the quantity of the second one. So all information regarding the first will come here, regarding the first type, Type 1, what is the rate? Type 1, what is the quantity? Type 2, what is the rate? Type 2, what is the quantity? Everything comes in its own line, right? In its own line. Now the point is, okay, this is the structure. All right, now let's keep this structure in our mind. Okay, what is the type 1 and type 2 for us here, friends? All right, let's apply it under this case. Okay, type 1, type 2 is nothing but A and B here. All right, the rate. Now take a look at the rate here. What is the rate of the first one? 15 rupees per kg. That is rate. Rate is always some numerator by denominator. Rupees per kg. Whenever you talk a rate, rate is always something divided by something. The unit of rate will be of something divided by something. It's always like that, right? Now that's how the rate will be, right? Yeah. So rupees per kg, that is rupees 15 per kg. What is the rate of the second one? Rupees per kg. What rupees per kg here, friends? 20 rupees per kg. That's the rate of B. Let rate. I'm writing these figures here. I'm rewriting these figures here, right? 15s and 20s. I'm writing here. Right, so therefore all it I have this 15 and this 20. I recorded these two figures, right? Yeah, so then what is the average rate here? What is the average weighted rate? Weighted rate is 80. Here I have this 18. I'm writing it here. That's also rupees per kg. The unit has to match for all three of them. This is rupees per kg. Good. Now listen to me. How do I write the ratio? All of you listen to me carefully. Right, now you have 15 on one hand, 18 on the other hand. Subtract in the same line. Bigger number minus smaller number. So you are seeing 15 on one hand, you are seeing 18 on the other hand. What you are supposed to be writing is 18 minus 15. Alright, what you are supposed to be writing is 18 minus 15. Bigger number minus smaller number. In the same line you write it. Good. I hope you got this point here. Look at the second one here. What you should be doing. Look at this 20. Look through this particular line of action. Right, line of action. 20, you have 20, you have 18. Get the difference. 20 minus 18. You are writing it here as 20. But you are writing it 20 minus 18. This is the ratio, friends. What you get here is the ratio of the quantities. Now this is nothing but the ratio. What is this ratio you got here? 20 minus 18, which is 2, is 2. 18 minus 15, 3. That's what 2 is to 3. That's precisely the same number you have it here. 2 is to 3. Pretty beautiful way of working. You just have to remember this algorithm. Of course, I'll do dozen questions based on this with the variations. Let's slowly with the variations. I will do dozen questions on this. Remember, therefore, what is the allegation? Allegation is a part of weighted average when the ratio of quantity is a question mark. When the ratio of quantity is a question mark, well, that's when we use the word called as allegation, not otherwise. Now I cannot say that, okay, this rate is a question mark. No, then I'll use the weighted average. I use allegation when the ratio of quantity is the question mark. Ratio of the quantity is question mark. Every other rate has been given. Every rate factor has been given. The quantity factor is a question mark. All right. Now, therefore, textbook definition of allegation simply put looks like this. It's a technique or it's a rule. All right. Now they use the technical word rule. I can call it as a technique. It's a technique, all right, which helps us to find the ratio. Ratio in which two or more. Technically, it is two. I underlined for two because it's a useful tool for two. Definitely, if it is more, it becomes a little cumbersome. It's technically meant for two. All right, two or more ingredients at the given price must be mixed to produce the mixture of the desired price. Mixture of the desired price or the quantity or concentration. Okay, let's keep it in mind. Don't bother too much about the definition. You remember the structure. What is more important to me is the structure. In the structure, all these are input parameters. Input, input, input. When the top three is the input, I just want the bottom output, right? I want the bottom output. Now listen to me. What is that output going to be? Let me come back to this question itself. So when you look from the output perspective, now look at the rate. Rate is rupees per kg. What is in the denominator, friends? What is in the denominator? Kg. Therefore, you get ratio of what? You get the ratio of kg. That's important. You don't get the ratio of rupees. You get the ratio of the kg, whatever in the denominator. All right, whatever is in the denominator. The sense, hey, if this rate has a unit called x by y, if the unit of rate is x by y, you get the ratio of y. You get the ratio of y, not the ratio of x. The quantity, the unit of quantity will be y. The unit of quantitative factor is going to be y. Some of the simple scenarios I will illustrate to you. So what are the typical scenarios under which we use this particular approach? Typical scenario, I'm not saying that this is the end all. I'm saying that, okay, what are the typical scenarios under which we apply this particular allegation? Technically, allegation of price gives the ratio of quantity being sold. Right, now look at the first scenario, price, just like we did this example, the simple example through which I already illustrated this fact. Okay, allegation of price gives what? Quantity, because it's a rupees per kg. Price is going to be rupees per kg. Therefore, the quantity is going to be what? Kg. All right, it's allegation only, friends. This is a structure I'm talking about. This is a structure. All right, this is a structure. Gives me what? Kg. Ratio of what? Ratio of the quantity. Quantity in this term is nothing but kg. Okay. Allegation of speed. Speed. Forget this word, right? Don't bother. Forget really allegation of speed. What is speed, friends? Speed is nothing but speed. All right, so speed is nothing but kilometers per hour. Kilometers per hour. That's how you define your speed. And then you will have the weighted average speed. Average speed. Then what do I get here? All right, now here I get the hours. Here I get the hours. Look, whatever is the denominator. What's in the denominator? Kg. Therefore, you get the ratio of what? Kgs. What is in the denominator is your hour. Therefore, you get the ratio of what? Hours. Right now, we'll take examples built on this, but then I'm just driving home the point that the units are important here. The units are important here. Right? Yeah. Okay. The allegation of interest percent gives ratio of what? Principal. Why? Interest is calculated upon what? All right, now 10% off. 10% of what? Principal. All right, 10% of what? The principal. Naturally, you talk about the principal whenever you are talking about the rate of interest. You said that rate of interest is 8%. Let's say that you talked about 8%. Now the point is 8% of what? 8% of the principals that you are depositing. All right, therefore you will get the principals there. Similarly, profit or loss. Take profit for example. Profit. Profit is profit on what? Profit already. Profit of what? The quantity being sold. The ratio of quantity being sold. All right, ratio of quantity being sold. It gives the ratio of the quantities. Now these four kind of scenarios, these are very typical scenarios. I just want you to remember these four scenarios, right? Remember these four scenarios where we can technically apply these concepts, right? Technically apply these concepts. I will come back to them, illustrate each one of them in detail, as I go through this particular lecture. Don't be terrified, don't be horrified in case all right now you didn't get this, what's happening out here. Right now, don't bother too much about it. As you start all right now doing the problems, you'll be able to understand how we are applying these facts. Right, like here we go with a simple example. Let's start with a very simple example. Simple example, maybe a class 8 kind of a question out here, class 7, class 8 kind of a question. In what ratio two types of ghee should be mixed up having cost price of rupees 105 and rupees 145 in order to get the mean price is nothing but the average price of 120. Simple way. Well, in what ratio you should mix these quantities? Good. The rate of the first ghee of the first type, there is a ghee of the second type, and there is a ghee of the mean type, which means you mixed both of them. You mixed mean both of them because you felt that 105 is little cheap, 145 is little costly. You said that the customers are willing to pay 120, but they are not. All right, now 105 they are not buying. They are thinking that the quality is not great. 145 they are feeling that it's a little costly. Fair enough, mix both of them, and then all right now sell them at 120 per kg. That's what you are trying to repackage them. 120 per kg. In what ratio you should mix? You have enough quantity with you. In what ratio you should mix? That's what you are arriving at. A ghee of the first kg, what is the rupees per kg? 105 rupees per kg. What is the ghee of the second type? All right, now 145 rupees per kg. You mixed both of them, G1 and G2 together. Hey, what is the price of that? 120 per kg. Now what is this? All these are the cost price. Right, the cost price of these geese are this. Then you will decide at what price you should sell all that later. First you got to understand that in what ratio you should mix. Average means what? This is G1 and G2 put together. Right now this 120, G1 and G2 are mixed together. Great. Now what did I ask you to do? So let's subtract in the same line. All right, that will give the ratio of the quantity difference. Subtract in the same line. 120 minus 105. 120 minus 105, bigger number minus smaller number. Good. All right, and then again here this side what you are writing here, again in the same line. All right, you work on this line, look at the numbers through that particular line. 145 minus 120. Great. Therefore what are the numbers that you are writing here? You are writing 25 is to 25 is to 50. All right, 25 is to 50. Therefore you are saying that you should be mixing them in the ratio 5 is to 3. Yeah, what is that you are trying to say? For every 5 kgs of the first ghee, you should be mixing 3 kgs of the second ghee. All right, thereby your average price will remain 120 per kg. Simple one, pretty simple one. Once you write it, all right, no, so it hardly takes any time. You'll be quickly able to put these numbers in perspective. I'm sure all right now you got this idea by now. So what you are getting here is the ratio of the kgs. Why? Because again, you need to be a little mindful about the units. You are saying that this is what? Rupees per kg. All these three parameters are rupees per kg. Right, all these are of course rupees per kg. I will not write them time and again, but we are mindful about the units. That's the point I'm trying to say. Hey, you got the ratios of what, friends? Ratio of kg, not ratio of rupees. We got the ratio of kg, right? Pretty simple one. Great. Let's go to the further. Let's go to the next one here. Let's go to the next one. Let's continue our journey. Let's try and understand. Let's look at all the scenarios. A man invests rupees 3,000 at the rate of 5% per kg per annum. How much should he invest at the rate of 8% so that he can earn a total of 6% per annum? Now look at this. What is happening here? The interest rate that I'm talking about, the interest rate. So now there are two schemes. Let's say that the scheme one, let's say there is one which is scheme one, or there is a scheme two, there is a scheme one. Hey, under scheme one, what is the rate of interest offered under the scheme one? 5%. Rate of interest offered is 5%. How much he invest at 8%? Alright, now there is a scheme two, it's offering 8%. 8%. So that you can earn how much he is expecting, an average return of how much, friends? 6%. Very good. Alright, 6%. So therefore you would say, alright, now so to reduce in the same lines, I already told you. So time and again I will not put these lines. You can write these lines here. Therefore 6 minus 5%, which will become 1%. So put them in the similar line, or it here as well. 8 minus 6, or it which becomes 2%. 2%. Of course, it's a ratio. Percentage symbol could have been conveniently ignored because I'm doing the first question. I'm writing it here. So I will write it as 2:1. Hey, what is this 2:1? By the way, this 2:1 is not the ratio of principals. This becomes ratio of principal because the rate of interest is defined for what, friends? It is defined for principals. Now you are saying that under scheme 1, if you are investing 2 rupees, or at under scheme 2, you got to invest 1 rupee. Right, you got to invest 1 rupee, but under scheme 1, how much did you invest? 3,000. Ratio, right? So 2 corresponds to 3,000, therefore 1 corresponds to how much? We all know the ratio study. 1 corresponds to 1,500. That's your answer. Well, technically that's your answer. That's what question is asking. How much did he invest under 8% scheme? We know that he invested 1,500 under 3% and under 8% scheme. Right, pretty simple one. I guess you are getting the groove of this. You are getting into the groove of this. You should know what is the output. That's a point here. Hey, what are my inputs and what is going to be my outputs? You will write 2:1. You cannot be lost by writing the 2:1. You should know what is that. All right, now in this case, it's going to be principal. That's what you need to be mindful about. Right. So when you're using the allegation as a tool, you need to be mindful about what are my inputs and what are my outputs. You need to be mindful about that. Right. Okay, guys, if you get any doubts while you're listening online, if you're doing the live, then you can put it under the in the Telegram group. Right, in the Telegram group. I think you are you are in the Telegram group. If not, take the invite and then join the Telegram group. You can post your doubts there. I will take some of your doubts. All right, what are the valid doubts? I will kind of take it through the lecture if you're attending it live. Right, yeah, here we go. Next one. A merchant has 50 kg of sugar, part of which he sells at 8% profit and the rest at 18% profit. Rest at 18% profit. Right, he gains overall, he gains 14% profit. Find the quantity sold at 18% profit. A beautiful question. So what is he saying? He's saying that there are two schemes, already two schemes. Under the first scheme, he is allowed to sell at 8% profit. 8% profit. Or there is another second scheme, he can sell it at 18% profit. Just like that, I'm calling them as schemes. There is no hard and fast rule. I'm just giving some names. Right now, on particular day, he already something to particular community, he can sell at 8% profit. To another community, he got to sell at 18% profit. But overall, he has a clear strategy that look, I want 14% profit. Clear strategy that I want 14% profit. Good. So therefore, write the allegation, friends, on one side, put it in the similar line. I will keep telling. I don't have to write these arrows one time and again. So by now you would have got the group. 18 minus 14, that's what you are writing here. That's 4%. Alright, that's 4%. Okay, similarly on the other side, 8% and 14%, alright, which is nothing but 6%. Therefore, you are saying it's a ratio, therefore percentage symbol is irrelevant. 2:3. You are saying that for every 2 kgs, now it is what? Alright, now the quantity, alright, now this gives the, whenever you have the profit percentage or the loss percentage, it talks about what? The quantity, nothing but kgs. Alright, you should know the output. That's very important. Therefore, I'm taking various scenarios so that you understand what is the output here. Sometimes the people would be lost. Alright, they don't know what is the output. Then it becomes disastrous situation, right? Now, therefore, the kgs. So you are saying that for every 2 kgs sold under the first scheme, he should be selling 3 kgs under the second scheme. But the point here is how much he is selling. He is selling 50 kgs. Therefore, the scheme 1, 2 kgs, scheme 2, 3 kg. Then what is the total? 5 kg. But it is not 5, friends. That is 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. That's what you're writing a ratios. I taught you this in the ratios chapter. Always focus on the total. Never keep an eye out of the total. Right? Okay, therefore it is 5. But 5 is not the number. The scaling 50. Author said that, man, you are not selling 5 kgs. You are selling 50 kgs. Yeah, what is the scaling factor? Therefore into 10 times. Therefore everything 10 times. Everything 10 times. This would become 30. This would become 20. His question is find the quantity sold under 18%. Here 18%, that is 3. 3 corresponds to how much, friends? 30. Alright, that's what you said, that 3 corresponds to 30. Your answer therefore is 30 kgs. Already your answer would have been 30 kgs out here. Right, pretty simple one. I guess all of you are getting the rhythm. Already you are getting into the rhythm out here. Right, let's continue. Let's continue. Do a couple more questions with me. Let's continue. It's a pretty simple chapter. Pretty, really simple chapter. Trust me, it's one of the very simple techniques out here. All right, let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. I will do this question. For the next question, I will leave some time for you. Next question, I will leave some time. So I expect that, okay, you kind of start getting the responses, because it's really one of the simplest chapters once you understand what are my inputs, what are going to be my outputs. So nothing beyond that. Why? It's because it's just a subset of the weighted average. It's a subset of weighted averages where the ratio is a question mark. Otherwise, don't try to apply this. Otherwise, don't try to apply this. Go back to your weighted average. It becomes simply cumbersome. Simply cumbersome. You should know when to use certain tools. It's like, no, alligation is like a customized spanner. Spanner solid. Now you, if you're using the nuts and bolts, if you ever like, no, try to loosen or tighten the nut bolt, then you understand that there are sometimes the customized spanners. There is a spanner number 14, spanner number 15, 16, 17. Of course, the other thing is the adjustable spanner. Adjustable spanner is what? Now you have that screw where you can kind of adjust to any nut and any bolt there. Now you would have these kind of tools in a mechanic shop, or maybe sometimes at home as well. Likewise, so when an alligation is a customized tool to tackle certain type of question. What type of question? When the ratio has to be figured out. Ratio of quantity is the question mark. That is when I use the alligation. Hey, what about weighted average? Weighted average is a flexible tool, just like a adjustable spanner. You can adjust it to any nut and bolt. Right? Now that's a point you got to keep in mind. Nothing to get confused. Hey, what if I don't know alligation? You don't have to know alligation. Without know, if you know weighted average, you are done, because alligation is a part of it. A part of it. Now don't hype, don't glorify alligation so much. Yeah, but the point is, why do I learn? Because I can do questions faster. Because what is that we are constrained in an exam? When you are writing any aptitude exam, you are constrained by what? Of course, the time factor. You got to do some questions much faster and better. So therefore, you learn some customized tools, because you never go with only generic tools every time. But alligation being one of the important concepts, therefore we took out some extra time saying that, okay, let's discuss only this concept for about an hour. All right, that's a whole rational, whole objective of this particular lecture. There may be my remaining 30 minutes or so, I will talk about the replacements and should be done. All right, now that we should be through with this particular today's lesson. Okay, here we go. Let's continue. Let's understand this. A man had 60 pence. He sold some at a profit of 12% and the rest at a loss of 8%. On the whole, he made a profit of 11%. So how many pens did he sell at a profit of 12%? Fair enough. Let's take a look at this. So there are two propositions. One, a profit of 12%. Listen, guys, I'll let know there is an important, I'll know from with respect to previous question. Both were gain. One is 8% gain. One is 8% gain. Another is 18% gain. But listen carefully here. All right. Sometimes the trick is using these kind of numbers. Profit is how much? 12%. Good. Let's say that's scheme one. Let profit is 12%. Let me just write plus to indicate it's a profit. Loss is 8%. You need to be mindful. All right, now therefore yes to, you better write it as minus 8%. Earlier, why you didn't? You may ask that, hey, why did you write plus here? Yeah, all numbers are positive only here. Therefore, no need to write. All numbers are positive. So all numbers are positive only here. All right, now all numbers are positive. So therefore, I'm just subtracting bigger number, smaller number, etc. But here I need to be a little mindful here, because all right, now there is a, on one hand, author is talking profit. There is no consistency in the language. On one hand, it's saying profit. On the other hand, it is saying loss. There is inconsistency there. Therefore, I'm using the mathematical signs to balance that inconsistency. Isn't it right? Okay. And finally, what is that he made? He made 11% profit. Fair enough. There is 11% profit. There is a profit of 11%. Right? There is a profit of 11%. You want to write a sign, you can write. It's actually not required. I just wrote it to illustrate the point. That's it. There I illustrate the point. All right, now illustrate the point. All right, yeah. So because we are learning something little better out here through this example, that's the whole idea. We're going one notch deeper. All right, now let's take a look at this. So therefore, what I need to be doing here, I need to be writing here. Always remember it is bigger number minus smaller number when you write. In the sense, what do you write here? 12 minus 11. So what is the bigger number here? 12%. What is the smaller number through that line? 11%. What you should be doing? It's always bigger number minus smaller number. Great. Now take a look at this, friends. So what I should be writing? 11 is the bigger number minus smaller number. Don't write 8. Minus of minus 8, my friends. That's important here. Minus of minus 8. Don't write 8 there. All right, now it's a bigger number minus smaller number. This minus, after this minus, all right, you have to write a smaller number, but the smaller number already has a negative sign. No worries, put that number in perspective. This is what? The ratio. Great. Therefore, let's take a look at this. Therefore, it becomes what? 19 is to 1. What you are trying to say is, for every 19 pence sold under the first scheme, for every 19 pence sold under the first scheme, you got to just sell one pen under the loss. For 19 pence sold under profit, you got to sell 1 pen under loss. But the point here is, now look at that scheme 1, we have a scheme 2, and there is a total, right? For every 19 pence sold here, 1 should be sold under loss, and the total number of pens sold are 20. But the point here is, how many pens did you sell? 60 of them. 60 of them. Scaling factor, zoom out factor, scaling factor into 3 times. Therefore, all numbers 3 times. Right, all number 3 times. So his question is, how many pens did he sell in a profit of 12%? Well, in a profit of 12%, he sold 57 pens. Why? The zooming factor is how much? 3 times. Well, therefore it is 57. 57 need to be sold under the profit. Right now, so I hope all of you got the perspective on this. So therefore, you need to be mindful about the signs. Sometimes you need to be mindful if there is an inconsistency in the language. Be mindful about the sign. If there is an inconsistency, if there is a consistency, no problem. You don't have to bother about it. But if there is an inconsistency, then you need to be mindful about it. Right? Good. All right. So we are all learning as we go through. Let's do this question. After that, I will start giving you some time. Let me do this question. Then I will give you some time for you to think through for rest of the questions maybe. Here we go, friends. Let's take a look at this. In what proportion glucose costing rupees 14 per kg and rupees 17 kg should be mixed so that 20% profit can be earned by selling the mixture at rupees 18? Look, again, there is an inconsistency here. What is inconsistent out here in terms of rate? The costing means cost price. It is costing 14 per kg. Another one is costing 17 per kg. But the mixture, now what is it saying? 20% profit by selling the mixture at 18. In the sense, hey, this is a cost price. This is the cost price and this is the selling price, because you are desiring to make a 20% profit. There may be another locality where the real estate cost etc. can be costlier. Therefore, they may look for a higher profit margin. So that fellow may say that I want to sell it at 40% profit, up to them. Somebody already may say that I will sell it at only 5% margin. So point is, right, everything should be in one consistent event, in a sense. Okay, rate of the first one, rate of the second one, and the average rate, weighted rate, right? Now, so rate of the second, rate of the weighted one, they all should be in the similar consistency. In the sense, if I choose to write cost price here, you better write cost price of the second, rate of the second, also the cost price rate. Here also you better write the cost price. Don't write cost price and make this as a selling price as it is given. In sense, if I write 14 here, it's a cost price. If I write 17 here, it's a cost price. But if I write 18 here, it's a selling price. Remember, it's selling price. On the other hand, now look at the other hand as well. If the 14 is the cost price, 17 is the cost price, when I mix 14 and 17, won't I be supposed to be writing something in between 14 and 17? How can I write 18? After mixing, you will never get the mixture's price as 18. Okay, point is clear. Ensure that there is a consistency in the language being used, or the consistency or in the things already now that you are talking about. If you're talking cost price, you better talk cost price. Don't talk selling price. But then author has already spoken selling price. No worries, he has told me that okay, 20% is the profit here, therefore I can find the cost price of the mixture. How do I find it? So multipliers, friends, we said that okay, cost price and the multiplier gives me selling price. This we know from our percentage 1 lecture. All right, percentage this all now this technique we learned in percentage 1. Of course, all right, then we did profit and loss. The entire most of the profit and loss was about this particular structure. Just in case you are not clear what I'm talking here, I request all right, visit your the profit and loss lecture. You'll be pretty clear. Even from the profit and loss it is not clear, then the fine toilet, then go back to the root of this particular concept, which is your percentage 1, right? Percentage 1, percentage 2 forms the crux or the root for this entire lecture. Right now, great. All right, let's go there. I'm sure all of you would have watched those videos. Therefore, let's be back here. Cost price and then the multiplier, then the selling price. Okay. What is the cost price, friends? Don't know. cost price, don't know. X. Hey, what is the multiplier? 20%. All right, now 20% profit. Hey, what do you mean by 20%? 20% is 1 by 5 plus 1 by 5. Multiplier becomes 6 by 5. Just add these numbers as it is. 6, 5 plus 1, 6, 6 by 5. Therefore, you are saying that X and then 6 by 5 is equal to 18. Therefore, I'll get the value of X from here. Right now, therefore, this is 3 times. Therefore, X is equal to 15. So now you are saying that, okay, the mixture is actually costing 15 rupees and cents. 14 is one of my number. 17 is the second rate of the second one. The mixture is costing 15. Now, these are the three numbers on which I need to put the allegation, right? Yeah, type 1. I have the type 1. I have the second type of glucose. All right, now there are glucose G1, glucose of type 1. There is a glucose of type 2. What is the rate, friends? 14 rupees per kg, 17 rupees per kg. The mixture is 15 rupees per kg. Mixture is 15 rupees per kg. All right, in what proportion I should mix them? You would say that, okay, you should be mixed in the proportion 2:1. All right, now, so you know, all right, by now you know what to subtract here. Therefore, you are saying that the 2:1 is the ratio. For every 2 kilos of the first glucose, for every 2 kilos of first glucose, you got to be mixing the 1 kilo of the second type of the glucose. Right now, that's a required answer here. In what proportion? Therefore, the answer to this question is 2:1. Always the first thing first. First thing first. 14 is coming first. Therefore, write the number corresponding to 14. It should be 2. Therefore, the answer to this question would be 2:1. In this question, one of the answer would be 1:2 also. Don't get confused. Whenever you write the ratios and proportion, there is an orderliness. The order is important out there, right? Okay. You got the point so far? Great. So I made a couple of points through this journey. So I got already, I guess you got all these points here. Now, one, I talked about the consistency in the language being used. Second one, you got to be understanding what is my output is going to be. Right now, how the output is going to be. If the inputs, already the units of the input are of the form x is to y, x by y, then you know that the output is actually talking about the y. Right now, these are the couple of things already I kind of talked about. So next 4 or 5 questions, I want you to push your pencils, keep your copy ready, keep your pens ready, keep your books ready. Right now, I want you to solve it. It shouldn't take more than a minute, of course, for any of these questions. If my illustration is clear so far, I did more than half a dozen questions. If the illustration is clear, I guess already you should not be taking more than a minute to resolve the issues that I'm putting forth in front of you. So here we go. Already this is your first question out here. I would like to take a look at this question and resolve and get me the answer. Very similar to the previous question, friends. Go ahead. I'm sure you must have done it by now. Okay, so what is what was the question about? How many kgs of basmati rice costing rupees 42 per kg should a shopkeeper mix with 25 kgs of ordinary rice, all right, which is costing 24, so that he makes a profit of 25% by selling the mixture at 40? Again, this is the cost. 42 is a cost out here. Cost price of the basmati, all right, now the ordinary rice. All right, that's another one is 20 rupees 24. But what is given to me? This is the cost price. This is the cost price. Now, what is given to me is selling price, and this is the profit percentage. Therefore, what I should do, I should convert this selling price to cost price, just like the previous question. Let the cost price of this cost price multiplier. Cost price multiplier becomes the selling price. Okay, what is a cost price? Cost price is x. Let us take it as x because that's what I'm trying to find out. Here, what is the multiplier, friends? 25%. Fraction for 25% is 1 by 4. Fraction for 25% is 1 by 4. Therefore, the multiplier for this, just add up these numbers in this fashion. So therefore, you will say that 5 by 4. Therefore, you're writing 5 by 4 is equal to 40. Right? Therefore, x is equal to 32. X is equal to 32. Right, x is equal to 32. Technically, we're trying to say that the cost price of the mixture is 32. Great. All right, how do I put it the perspective? There is a basmati rice and there is a ordinary rice. All right, ordinary rice. So basmati rice is 42 rupees per kg. Ordinary rice is 24 per kg. The mixture of basmati and ordinary together is 32. Hey, what is this? It's a mixture of basmati and ordinary, some new name. They mixed together. All right, now they have mixed it together. Right now, thereby, all right, you say that, okay, so what is the ratio in which I should be mixing this? 42, 32. All right, therefore, you say that this is 10. On the other hand, it is going to be 8. Therefore, you are saying that, hey, this should be mixed in the ratio 4 is to 5. So it should be mixed in the ratio 4 is to 5. But in this question, so which means for every 4 kgs of basmati rice, you got to make mixing 5 kgs of the ordinary rice. But how much of ordinary rice you have taken? It's given ordinary rice taken is 25 kgs. It is not 5. The ordinary rice taken is 25. 5, it's not 5. 5 is actually 25. Hey, what is the scaling factor? Into 5 times. 5 into 5. Hey, therefore, the same scaling factor, it's the ratio, isn't it? 4x and 5x. It's the same ratio. So therefore, what I should be doing? 4 into 5. You would say that, man, I should be taking 20 kgs of basmati rice. This question is how many kgs? You are saying that, look, I got to take 20 kgs of basmati rice to arrive at the rate of 32 rupees, to arrive at this mixed rate of 32 rupees. Right, great. All right, now, so this simple one. I'll open up the next one. I guess you are getting the perspective very, very clear. It's getting it clear. So take a look at this one now. You do it, guys. You do it. This less one step ahead of whatever we are discussing. Just goes a little deeper, a notch deeper in understanding. Try this. Try this. Extend your thinking. Try this. Yeah, I'm sure you would have done it by now. Let's take a look. A milkman buys milk at rupees 10 per kg and mixes water to it. Okay, water is actually free. You got to understand that, okay, if nothing is mentioned, water is free. Not today, in today's scenario, the water is not free, but then, yeah, it should be taken as free. Nothing is mentioned, take it as free. He books a profit of, but he makes a profit of 33, 1 by 3% by selling it at rupees 12. How much water he mixed to the milk per liter of mixture, which means in a liter of mixture, what is the amount of water now? Which means now when you are selling somebody 1 liter of mixture, it is not 1 liter of milk. There is a part of water as well. His question is, tell me in a liter of mixture, per liter of mixture, what is the quantity of water now? All right, now rest of it is a phrase there. Technically, what is this question? How much is the water in a liter of mixture? It's a mixture now because there is going to be a milk and water. Right now, so that's a question out here. Fair enough. Already is making a profit of how much? First, let us write the cost prices. Therefore, profit is 33.33%. That's a profit. After making a profit, this is the selling price. Then let me write the cost price. Then let me write the cost price. How do you write the cost price? You would say that, okay, so cost price, let the cost price be X. X is the cost price multiplier. So what is the multiplier, friend? 33.33%. Let me write the multiplier here. That's nothing but plus 1 by 3. That's a fraction. Therefore, the multiplier is nothing but 4 by 3. Let me write it directly. Therefore, you say that X 4 by 3 is also equal to 12. Therefore, X is nothing but 9. So what you are trying to say is, right from the milk perspective, okay. So now pure milk, first one is the milk. On one hand, you have the pure milk, that is the rate of milk. You got to decide the rate you want to discuss with respect to what. You got to write rate from the milk perspective. All right, now, so therefore you are saying that rate of milk, all right, the milk, and then there is a water. On the other side is the water. The in between, what I have, the mixture. All right, that is a milk and water put together. Right now, let me write the prices. What is happening? The milk was 10 rupees. Milk is 10 rupees, all right, here 10 rupees per liter. Water is 0 because nothing is given. I said that take it as 0. Water is 0. Whatever the mixture is 9 rupees. What about the mixture is 9 rupees, all right, because you pay only for milk, right? Technically you should be paying only for milk, but this fellow is selling at 12 rupees is a different issue. If somebody is adding water, you got to pay only for the milk because water is free, right? You got to be paying for the milk, therefore it should be 9 rupees technically. The mixture is actually costing in 9 rupees and that fellow is selling at 12 rupees to make a profit. Fair enough, that's his decision, right? Okay, so therefore put the ratio here, friends. The ratio becomes how much? 9 is to 1. 9 is to 1. So what is this? This is the mixture. All right, now this is the mixture. In the mixture, what you are trying to say is, if for every 9 parts of milk, there is 1 part of water, which means if you take 1000 ml, that's a liter, right? Per liter is what? 1000 ml. All right, there is a milk portion here and there is a water portion here. There will be a 900 ml of milk and there will be 100 ml of water. There will be answer choices to this. Answer options can be in terms of ml. Answer option can be in terms of liter. If it is a liter, you'll be talking about as 1.1 liter. If it is ml, it is going to be 100 ml. We got to watch for the answer option because how much water he mixed, all right, per liter. That's a question. All right, now how much water he mixed per liter? Sure, all right, you got to watch out for the answers. All right, now how much water? Your answer can be either 100 ml if they're expressing in terms of ml, or if they're expressing in terms of liter, it can be 0.1 liter. You got to look for the answer choices, and that's going to be one of this is going to be your answer. Pretty simple proposition. I guess all of you got this point. All of you got this point. Here we go. The next one. Crack it, guys. Crack it. Crack it. 1 minute is too much of time because it's a very specific tool. Alligation is a pretty specific tool. 1 minute is too much of time. I technically want to answer in 30 seconds. Go ahead. Yeah, shall we? Okay. How many liters of water should be added to a 30-liter mixture containing milk and water? It's already a mixture. What you have is a mixture. Again, this fellow decided to dilute further. All right, dilute further. All right, that's a point out here. So therefore, if there is a mixture, again, you got to understand that what perspective you want to write this from. So one, you may say that, okay, let me write from the concentration of milk. Right, you may say that, okay, let me think from the concentration of milk, which means focus remains on concentration of milk. Look what you have now. You already have a mixture. You already have a solution, milk water solution. It's not pure. What you are adding? All right, now you are adding water. Second side, let's take it as a water. What do you get? You get a new resultant mixture, new mixture. You get a new mixture. You get a new mixture there. All right, so what is the solution, friends? Take a look at that. 30 liters of milk. Now what is the concentration? Because there is no pricing here. There is no pricing here, right? Now there is no question, is not about pricing. What is the quantity? How much quantity of water you should add? Perfect. So far we were talking money. There is no money factor here, so therefore what, shift your attention to concentration. Another point, right? Now if there is no money, rate, concentration also talks about the rate. Concentration is not the quantity. Concentration is a quality factor. Why? Concentration of milk remains same whether you take 1 ml or 100 ml or 1000 ml. Concentration remains concentration, right? Therefore concentration, if the rate is not given, shift your attention to concentration when it becomes liquids, right? Now that's a perspective you should know. All right, you should not fight for it. All right, you should know. All right, not comfortably you should know that, okay, if the pricing is the rate factor is the pricing, okay, price is not there. If it's a mixture, then what I should be focusing upon? Focus on concentration. That's another one, because it's not a quantity. Concentration is not a quantity issue. Concentration is a qualitative issue, right? Yeah, okay. Therefore what you get, the output is going to be the quantitative issue, right? Quantitative issue. Great. Now let's take a look at your solution. 7 is to 3. Look at this, friends. 7 is to 3, which means milk to water, ratio of milk to water is 7:3. What is the total? Yeah, total is going to be 7 plus 3, 10. Therefore, what is the concentration of the milk? Concentration of the milk is milk by total. That's called as concentration of milk. Concentration of milk is nothing but milk by total. That's a fraction form. Milk by total is what? 7 divided by 10. Hey, what is the percentage form? 70%. Now the point is, hey, should I write fraction form or percentage form? Your wish. Absolutely your wish. Right now, for the time being, let me write percentage form. You may wonder why percentage? Because there is a value which I am seeing percentage. Therefore, let me write percentage as long as it is convenient to me. Fair enough. Let's write it. Therefore, concentration of the given solution 70%. That's a given. This is a given solution. It's already given mixture or given solution, 70% milk. Then what you are adding to this? You are adding water to this. Hey, what is the concentration of milk in water? Look at that. What you are talking about. Now you need to be mindful what you are talking. You are talking about concentration of milk in water, pure water, H2O, already H2O, hydrogen and oxygen it is made up of. Already pure water. Hey, what is that? Already know what is the concentration of milk? 0%. That's going to be 0%. There won't be a milk in water. 0%. Good. Yeah, what is the resultant mixture? But be mindful what you are writing. Don't write this 40 here. Don't go ahead and write this 40 here. It's a mistake. All right, why? All right, now 40% is water. Hey, 40% is water. Then what is milk? 60% is milk. That is the concentration of the milk. Concentration of the milk is 60% there. Therefore, you better write 60 here, not 40. Right? Therefore, 60% I should write. Why? Because you decided to write from the milk perspective. That's your decision. All right, that's your decision. You may say that what if I change my decision? We'll come to it. What if you change your decision to water? We'll see. We'll see. All right, don't pan. Let's not think about it. Let's talk one at a time. Okay, 60%. What did you write here? Milk. Everything you wrote from the milk perspective. All right, what is the given in the given solution? What is the concentration of milk? In water, what is the concentration of milk? In the resultant mixture, that's a resultant mixture. What is the concentration of water? Concentration of milk. So everything is in terms of milk. All right, that's what I mean by be consistent in writing the data. If you decide to write concentration of milk, be consistent with the data. Right? You need to be consistent. Great. All right, therefore, let's see what is this. What is the result here? There is 10% here, and this is going to be 60% here. Good. Therefore, what is the ratio, friends? 6:1. What you are trying to say is, for every 6 liters of your solution, for every 6 liters of your solution, you got to add 1 liter of water to arrive at 60% milk concentration. That's a question out here. But the point here is how much water should be added to 30 liters of the given mixture. It's already 30 liters, not 6. Author is saying that, man, this is not 6, this is 30. Okay, what is the scaling factor? Into 5 times. Therefore, what I should do this one, I also make this into 5 times. Therefore, I would say that, hey, I need to be adding 5 liters. How many liters? Author said, you are saying that add 5 liters water, then you will be diluting from 70% to 70% to 60%. That's a point you are trying to make. That's a point you are trying to make. Good. So your answer is technically 5 liters. Now listen to me. So we said that, hey, what if I decide to write from the water perspective? No worries. Let's look from the concentration of water. All right, what a not a nice word to use, concentration of water. Yeah, let's use it. Let's use it because I need to communicate the thought to you. Concentration of water. Right? Let's say concentration of water. Okay. Now what are the parameters I have? Given solution. One is a given solution. Second one, you are adding water to this solution. Water to this solution. Then you are arriving at the resultant mixture. Then you are arriving at the resultant mixture. 3 parameters. But now you made a conscious decision to write from the water perspective. All right. Hey, what is the water concentration, friends? All right, concentration. Same here. This is the same thing I'm going to. All right. From here, I'm writing the concentration of water. Concentration of water is water by total. What is the water here? The water is 3 parts. Water is 3 parts. What is the total here? 10 parts. Okay. Therefore, what is the concentration? 30%. Good. My given solution has 30% water. 30% water. All right. Say what is the concentration of water in pure water, because you are adding water to this to dilute. So what is the concentration of water in water? 100%, because it's a pure water what you are adding. 100%. Good. What is the resultant you want? Write the concentration of water, friends. Resultant 40%. Now this time I'm using this 40% directly because I'm writing water concentration only. 40%. All right. Now do the allegation on this. Do the allegation on this. Now this becomes 10%, 30, 40. Or on the other side, 140 becomes how much? 60%. You precisely got the same number, 60, 10. That's exactly what you got. 6:1. With the 6:1, you get the similar answer there. Similar answer there because 6 corresponds to 30, etc. Similar, ditto. Therefore, you have a choice. When you are writing the concentration, you have a choice. With respect to concentration, you have a choice. You can either either write the concentration of milk or concentration of water. Whenever the two things are involved, the allegation technically involves two things. So you can, choice is yours. Which side to write, that's your choice. That's your choice. Whichever side that you use, you get the similar answer. But be consistent. Once you decide concentration of water, be consistent and talk only water through the problem. If you're talking concentration of milk, talk only that particular portion. Don't mix up the issues. Separate them, or take one line and talk about it. I hope all of you are getting the point here. Beautiful point here, this one, right? The concentration, focusing on the concentration when the pricing is not the issue, right? Now that's a point out here. I guess all of you got this idea. Try the next one, guys. Try the next one. Try the next one. These two questions are based on adding something to it. Now take a look at the next one. All right, now replacing something from the given part. Opposite thought. Opposite of this particular thought. Concept is same, only the thought is opposite. I want you to think about it for a minute or two. I want you to think about it for a minute or two. All of you. Go ahead. Right, let me help you out with the first question. Let me help you out. So then I'll have a couple of questions that I want you to tackle. This is a one-time replacement. Then all right, I'll extend this and I'll call it as a replacement strategy. That I will do it maybe after 15-20 minutes from now. First, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this concept. How many liters of 12-liter mixture containing milk and water in the ratio 2:3 be replaced with the pure milk so that the resultant mixture contains milk and water in equal proportion? Firstly, what does it mean by equal proportion? 50%. Right, equal proportion means 50%. I want 50% milk. Existing, what it is now, it's less than 50%. Therefore, you are adding milk to improve the concentration here. See, look, as of now, you have a milk solution. Right, you have a milk solution. You have a milk solution. That's a milk water solution, not milk solution. What I meant is milk water solution. Basically, you have a given solution, right? Yeah. So, given solution, what it has, friends? It has milk and water. Milk is 2 parts, water is 3 parts. What is the total? Therefore, 5 parts. Yeah, therefore, if I say that, what is the concentration of milk? Concentration of milk is milk divided by total. What is the milk? 2 parts. What is total? 5 parts. Concentration, if I write it as a percentage, what is that going to be? 40%. You may say that, hey, I will not write percentage, I will write fraction only. Sure, you can write fraction. I will come to that point. Don't worry. All right, as long as the numbers are fine, I will write percentage. Once the numbers become too difficult, now numbers become dirty to handle, I will write fraction only. Of course, both are same. 2 by 5 is the fraction representation. All right, this 2 by 5 is the fraction representation. 40% is the 40%. All right, 40% becomes the percentage representation. One of you may write it as 0.4 decimal representation. All mean same. All right, there is no difference between any of them. Fair enough. For now, time being, let me talk about the concentration in terms of percentage. It's a 40% concentration. All right, good. So what you are doing here, the pure milk you are adding, pure milk if you add, that's a 100% concentration. That's a milk perspective, it is 100%. Therefore, I'm improving the milk concentration to 50%. Right now, so but how I'm doing it? My beaker has a capacity of 12 liters. How many liters of 12-liter mixture containing this and this be replaced? The capacity is 12 liters. Now, that's a tin. All right, now assume that that's a tin. The tin capacity is 12 liters. That's it. That's a 12 liters. Now we have to fill it and give. But the point here is it's already full. It's already full. 12-liter solution is full and it is 40%. But the customer is asking that I want the same 12 liters. I want this can to be filled. All right, to complete 12 liters. But I want 50%. Now all I got to do is what? Take out something. All right, take out some solution, add pure milk, all right, in place of that, and bring it to the 12-liter capacity. And when you put the dip, all right, now assume that there is a concentration, all right, to test, there is a meter, all right, when you dip that particular device, it should read 50%. As of now, the device is reading 40%. That's the whole idea of this particular question. So because customer is very clear, look, the tin capacity is 12 liters, I still want 12 liters. All right, that's simple. The can capacity is 12 liters, I want 12 liters can to be filled. But now Now it is reading 40%. I want 50% as the concentration. What I got to do? I got to replace. I got to take out something and bring in the add pure milk to this. All right, that's because the pure milk is available with you. Pure milk is available. Therefore, you wanted to add pure milk. Okay, first let's have to make a decision. You want to talk water or you want to talk milk? That decision has to be made. I've decided let's talk milk, concentration of milk. That's important. Right? Concentration of milk. Let us talk about concentration of milk. That's important there while writing. You want to talk from water perspective or milk perspective is the first decision to be made. You decided to talk from the milk perspective. Good. So you have existing solution. There is a given solution. There is a given solution. You are adding pure milk to this. Pure milk. You are adding pure milk to the solution. And then you are arriving at the resultant mixture. Some resultant mixture. You are arriving at some resultant mixture. Fair enough. Let's add these numbers, friends. The given solution has what? 40%. We already arrived at this. Given solution has a concentration of 40% milk. Pure milk is 100% milk. It's 100% milk. Good. So now what is that requirement here? The requirement is 50% concentration milk, 50% concentration milk. What is the ratio in which I should mix? Subtract them in the same line. You write 10% on one hand and 50% on the other hand. Therefore, you are saying that it should be 5:1. Now listen to me very carefully. This is the finally. Finally, what you got to have is, if the given solution has 5 liters, the milk that you are added should be 1 liter, which means the replaced should be 1 liter. Now these two put together is the total, friends. These two put together is the total. That is called as mixture, which means, all right, now listen to me carefully. This is the mixture. So now write it like this: given solution. Understand very carefully without getting confused. There is a given solution. Then you add, then replaced. You already replacement. You did a replacement by milk, pure milk. That's replacement. Then you have the resultant mixture. You have the resultant mixture. Okay, resultant mixture, 3 parameters. Now in the resultant mixture, now resultant mixture is how much, guys? 12 liters. Resultant mixture is 12 liters. You may ask that, how do you know, man, it is 12 liters? Because I said that author has said that 12 liters only. It is not going to change. Your can capacity is 12 liters. Resultant is 12 liters. Good. But listen carefully here. What are the numbers that I have? The given is 5. That arrow is coming out to be 5. That's a given. So it's coming here. The arrow is coming here. Say, what is the given composition? 5 liters. Good. Replaced. You replaced it by milk. What is the composition there, friends? 1. All right, that number is 1. Hey, what is this mixture, guys? What is this mixture? This is 5 plus 1. The resultant mixture is what? Both of them. This 5 and this 1 put together becomes 5 plus 1, which means it is 6. That is the relationship. 5 portions is the given solution. 1 portion is the replaced one. That's nothing but the milk. You removed something and you put some pure milk into that. Now the resultant is 6, but author says that, hey, you have 12-liter can. Why you wrote 6 here? Sure, I got to double the numbers. This is 12. Therefore, what is the scaling factor? Into 2. Therefore, 5 into 2. Therefore, you are saying that the given solution now comprises 10 liters and the pure milk is 2 liters. Pure milk is 2 liters and the total solution is 12 liters. That's a meaning. How many liters of milk should be added? You are saying that, look, man, 2 liters of pure milk should be added, or it replaced, which are not added, it's a replaced. Remove these 2 liters and then replace it with 2 liters of pure milk, which results your concentration moving up from 40% to 50%. All right, to 50%. That's the meaning of this particular question. Same thing, but the meaning now with this particular question, one more thing will be clear. What is the meaning of these numbers? If this is 5, if this is 1, this is going to be 5 plus 1, which is 6. That is pretty clear from here. Right now, sometimes, because see, I highlighted this, the same portion out here. I highlighted this. What is the given corresponds to? All right, what is the replaced material corresponds to? What is the total corresponds to? Right now, these are the 3 parameters that we kind of taking cognizance of. Right now, that's a point out here, friends. Let's move further. Let me do one more so that the things will be clear to you. If you got the idea, I will give 30 seconds. You try it out in 30 or 45 seconds. Then I will do once again. By that, now you should be able to grasp this particular concept of replacement. Well, replacing one time. Yeah, here we go. Try this. Try this. I want you to try this particular question. Try it out, friends, all of you. Right, yeah. So this is one of the one of the cat questions. Yeah, the drunkard stole a wine from a butt of sherry. Butt is nothing but a cask or a container. Basically, it's a container. Butt is nothing but a container. This butt, not beauty, but B-U-T-T. Right, butt of butter. Sherry is nothing but the sherry is nothing but the kind of word used for wine. Well, it's a kind of a wine. Or it's I think it's from Europe. Europe. I don't know from which part of Europe, but generally, already it's a word used in Europe. Already, no, technically it's a wine from Europe, basically, right? Now, some part of Europe, Spain, whatever, already I'm not sure, already now Germany, whichever the side. I'm not sure, right? Now, somewhere in the Europe, basically, right? Now, which contains 30% spirit, basically, right? The alcohol, all right, now in that is 30%. That's a concentration. And it replaces, in the sense, all right, now, so there is a container. Technically, there was a container. It was full. All right, this container was full. This was full. Again, a replacement, full. What did he do? All right, now, what this fellow did is, already he knows that, okay, this has a better concentration or better taste, whatever it is, right? Now, so he stole some portion here. This is the portion, assume that he has stole. He stole this particular portion, and he had another relative. He had another wine or another wine. What he did, he replaced it with that particular wine. He replaced. Already, he removed. Alright, now some portion, and he replaced. His question is, what portion was removed? What percentage of the original butt did he steal? Which means, what did he remove and replace with the inferior quality? Right now, that's a whole inferior concentration. Right now, therefore, what I will put the concentration. I will a concentration of spirit. All right, concentration of spirit. You can say that, okay, can I say concentration of water versus spirit? Sure, all right, no, but then you got to, I said that the first decision is what do you want to focus upon. I said I want to focus upon, I want to focus upon the spirit. Okay, one, the butt, original part of the butt. From the butt, all right, now from the butt, given butt, all right, now, so how much will be there from the butt. Second one, the replacing, that's all right, now replacing spirit, replace, all right, now replaced wine. So this is a replaced one. I'll let know replaced one. How much? I'll let know that you are replacing it. So now from the butt, what has happened there? I'll let know that what was the concentration of the butt? 30%. The replacing material has what concentration of spirit? 12%. 12%. Yeah, after replacing, what has become the concentration in the butt now, already in that particular butt is nothing but the original container. Basically, let's say the original container, it has now come down to 18%. It has now come down to 18%. Great. Now look at this, all right, now therefore in what proportion, all right, now the replacement has taken place. Now this is after replacement, right? 18% is what? After replacement. That is the resultant. Basically, this is the result. All right, result after replacing. Good. So now let's understand this. Therefore, let's put the numbers to perspective here. 12, 18. Therefore, this side is 6. 30, 18. Therefore, this is 12. You are now trying to say that 1 is to 2. What you are trying to say is the original proposition of the butt. If there is one portion left, the replacement has now comprises two portions. Look at this. What I'm talking to say is original butt. The original butt, one portion, right? Replaced spirit, replaced one is two portion. All right, therefore the resultant butt, therefore this is the resultant butt is three portions. All right, three portions. All right, now big why resultant butt is made up of what? The original portion is there. All right, this is original portion. There is a original portion and there is a replaced portion. Both of them together becomes the resultant butt, that is 1 plus 2, which becomes 3. All right, 1 plus 2, this becomes 3. Now the question is, what percentage of the original butt did he steal? Of course, he stole these two portions. All of the original butt, out of the original butt, he stole only 3 portions because the resultant butt has 3, which means earlier the original was 3. Now the original left is only 1 portion, which means how much did he steal? Whatever he replaced. Why did he replace 2 units? 2 units he replaced out of 3. This is a total is 3. Total is 3. Why did he replace 2 units? Because he stole 2 units. Therefore, he replaced the 2 units with the inferior concentrated spirit. All right, therefore, you say that 2 by 3. That's the answer, which is 66, 1 by 3%. All right, whichever way it is given there, 66 point. All right, 66, 2 by 3%. That is 66.66%. Whichever way the answer is given, because it's a percentage, they would have written some number there. All right, that's how your answer will look like 66.67 or 66, 2 by 3%, etc. Now look, this replacement is little tricky concept. This is a little tricky concept. This concept will be pretty clear provided you know that the resultant is nothing but this plus this. These two put together becomes the resultant. That's all the point you should know here. Once you know that particular point, it's a pretty simple proposition, straightforward, direct proposition. Don't panic. Even if you are not getting it immediately, don't panic. With some practice, you will definitely get this particular point. You will definitely get this point. No worries on this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Take a look at this question, guys. All right, by now you are completely, completely empowered to solve these questions. Just that I'm bringing another element. I'm bringing another element. I want you to take a look at this question and solve it. I'll give a good 1 minute time. A good 1 minute, solve it. Hmm. Yeah, here we go. Two casks contain mixture of liquids A and B. In the first cask, A is to B is 7 is to 3. Again, you got to focus. Now there is a two liquids. He has not given the names. You can say that A can be milk. You may say already A can be milk. B can be water. Does not matter, you can say all right. Now the whole idea is what you need to focus upon, milk or water. That's a whole question mark here. Do you want to focus on milk or water? Let us say that I want to focus on A, right? That's a concentration of A. You may say that, hey, shall I focus on the concentration of B? Of course yes, of course yes, there is absolutely no problem, right? Now the point here, all right, now the concentration of A or B, that's your choice. Now the two casks, let's say that okay, this is the cask, first cask C1, let me call it as cask 1, that's a container 1. Hey, what about this? This is the container 2. So you mixed both of them and this is what is the expected out here. Now listen to me. All right, now A out of total. Friends, you got to write A out of total. I am writing cask 1, first container, second container. Here it is going to be a mixture. Here it is going to be a mixture. You mix both of them. Hey, what about the container 1? All right, container 1. Container 1 is 7 out of 10. 7 is to 3. Total. It's always, you want to write the concentration of A. Don't write 7 by 3. It is not A versus B. It is A upon total 7 by 10, right? Okay, what about the second one now? Cask 2. Cask 2, you will say that 7 upon 9. You will be writing it as 7 upon 9. Okay. Hey, what about the middle one? What about the mixture? 11 upon 15. It's given 11 upon 15. What I'm expecting is 11 upon 15. 11 upon 15. That's what I'm expecting. Now I'm saying that, hey, tell me, man, what is the ratio in which I should mix the solutions from these two containers? Some ratio will be the answer. In what ratio I should be mixing these two containers? All right, now that's a question out here. All right, in what ratio I should be mixing? Okay, good. So now look at this. All right, now so writing the percentages is not a great value here. All right, you may say that, hey, why it's not great? This you'll write it as 70%. Fair enough. All right, now 7 by 9. All right, now there you are stuck. 77.77. 77.77%. Then 11 by 15. Again, it's not a great number. All right, therefore you will say that, hey, all right, now add subtracting them, it's not making a proper proposition. What do you do in that case is make the denominators equal. Make the denominators equal. Whenever you make the look at the denominator, what are the numbers in the denominator? 10, 9 and 15. Make the denominators equal. How do I make the denominators equal? Take the LCM. That's where the concept of LCM comes. Take the LCM of 10, 9 and 15. 10, 9 and 15, which is 90. What I'm trying to say, man, make the denominators 90. Now make every denominator 90. I'm telling you a technique how to solve these kind of questions faster, scaling. Right now make every denominator 90. As of now the denominators are different. There is 10, 9 and 15. Make it 90. You may wonder, how do I make it 90? You can make it 90 by multiplying by 9. Hey, how do, if you multiply this by 9, the numerator also multiply by 9, therefore it will not change. But why it multiply by 9? Because I want to make the denominator 90. 10 is already there, make it 90. Good. Hey, what about the second one? Multiply this by 10. That's how you make it 90. But if you multiply denominator by 90, then multiply numerator also by 90. Thereby it does not change. Fair enough. Hey, what about this? Make this also 90. Make this also 90. How do I make this 90? 15 into 6. Therefore, this also you make it multiply by 6. Did I change anything? Absolutely not. I didn't change anything out here. I didn't change anything. Now the denominators are same. When you write the ratio, denominator will get cancelled. You will write the 90 in the denominator. You will write the 90 in the denominator. 90 gets cancelled. What remains is, man, what do you have in the numerator? Only that remains. Therefore, how do I interpret this particular question? Let me write separately for you. All right, case 1 and case 2. What is matters to me is 9 into 7, because denominator anyway gets cancelled. 9 into 7, 63. I'll write 63. Hey, what I write here, 7 into 10, which is 70. Which is 70. Good. What I write here, 11 into 6, I will write it as 66. Now what I'll do, I'll just apply the allegation. Therefore 63, 66, this side it is 3. What about this side? 4. Therefore that's your answer. For every 4 portions, for every 4 liters from cask 1, For every 4 liters from cask 1, you should be using 3 liters from cask 2. All right, 3 liters from cask 2, from the container 2. All right, that's what you are supposed to be using. Answer is 4:3. Simple, friends. All right, now therefore I was saying that, hey, if it is easy to write the percentage, you write it. If the percentage are not very convenient to write, don't bother. We can use the fractions also. How do you use the fraction? Via LCM. Try and use the fractions via LCM. And when you make the denominators equal, when you make the moment you make the denominators equal, just focus on the numerators and subtract. Okay, can I have done this in the same line? Yes, of course. In the exam, you should use only one matrix to do it. I wrote it separate. Otherwise, when I put this ask you to subtract from here, there might be a potential confusion. It's the same number there. It's the same number, precisely the same number. You can do it on the same chart. I just wrote the number separately. I also gave the reason why I'm not writing 90 there. Already, why I'm not writing 90, I gave the reason. See, technically, you'd have written this as 4 by 90. You'd have written this as 3 by 90. 90 does not play a role. That's it. All right, now if you subtracted the fractions as they are, you would have written them as 4 by 90 and 3 by 90. 90 does not matter. Therefore, I said just focus on the numerators and finish the deal. All right, now that's a way you look at the questions where if the content is given in the form of ratio, content is given in the form of a ratio, but you are not able to, all right, now to convert them to percentage and subtract easily, then what you do? Retain them in the ratios and work with them. So how? Via LCM. Do one more, guys. You do it now. You do it now. I gave the background. You do this. Quickly do this. After these questions, we'll go to replacement. We'll go to replacement. Maybe after 1 or 2 questions. Do this question. All of you do this question. Yeah, get me the answer quickly. Get me the answer. Yeah, good. I guess you got the point here. Let's do this. A cask is filled with a mixture of 2 liquids A and B in the proportion A is to B. A is to B 5 is to 1. Again, you got to decide should you want to do it from the A's perspective or you want to do it from the B's perspective. Right now, how many gallons does the cask hold? What is the capacity of this particular cask? Right, yeah, when 22 gallons of mixture is drawn off and the cask be filled with liquid B, the proportion changes to this. What is happening? Again, this is the replacement, right? I said that we'll do one more question on replacement. This is built on the concept of what? The replacement, which means, all right, now, so 22 gallons is removed. In the cask is full. Initially, it is full. Initially, it is full. So you found that, okay, the concentration is 5 by 1, but you wanted to dilute it. You want to bring it down, right? That is nothing but 5 by 6, isn't it? This is 5 by 6, nothing but 83.33%. You have 83.33% concentration of what? A. All right, I'm talking about A. A has a concentration of 83.33% here. As of now, 5 by 6, 83.33%. But you want decided that, hey, A should become 60. All right, now 3 divided by 8. All right, 3 divided by 8. This is 3 divided by 8. I'm talking from A. Concentration of A 3 by 8, that is nothing but 37.5%. You decided, man, not 83, it's a baby, I want to give all it now in a very diluted form, something like that, and so I have to bring it down to 37.33. What I should do? Remove the type, remove A or remove the solution and fill it with B. Assume that B is solid. Now assume that A is milk. Assume A is milk. Already A is milk and B is water. You wanted to completely dilute and feed this particular baby. Already you wanted to completely dilute it with water. So therefore, all it now, so what you should do? But then cask has to be full again. Cask has to be full and it should be sold. It should be full when it is sold. Therefore, what you do? You draw out the solution and you fill it back with the liquid B. Liquid B is nothing but the water. Assume it is water. Just a scenario. I'm just giving a scenario out here. Great. Let's focus on concentration of A and write this problem. Concentration of A. Let us write it. Let's write from the concentration of A. Okay. Now the given solution. There is a given solution. There is a given solution or given mixture. So what is the concentration of A, friends? 5 divided by 6. Concentration of A is 5 divided by 6. Then the replacement. there is a replacement that is happening. Yeah, what is that you are replacing by? Liquid B, that's a water, 0%, 0. All right, therefore it is 0, 0 by whatever it is, it's 0. Basically it is 0. Why? Because there is no A in B, because it's a liquid B, that's a milk and water. If you say A is milk and B is water, is there a milk in water? No, therefore 0. Therefore the concentration, whether you write in the fraction form or you write in the decimal form or you write in the percentage form, it remains 0. It remains 0. Okay. Yeah, what is the resultant? Resultant is 3 by 8. Yeah, what about this? This is what? This is the resultant. All right, this is the resultant mixture. All right, what is this is the resultant solution? Given solution, and this is the resultant solution. Resultant solution is how much? 3 by 8. That is 3:5. Nothing but 3 by 8. Good. All right, let's put it in the perspective now. Let's put in the perspective. Now, if you don't want to convert them, because 5 by 6 is what? You write as 83.33%. Not a great number. You write this as 37.5%. Not a great number to subtract them. Therefore, what do you do? Hey, fine, I will handle them as the ratios itself. I will handle them as ratios. Good. How do you handle them as ratios? Take the LCM of the denominators. Take a look at 8, 6 here. Look at 8 here. Take the LCM. Therefore, LCM of 6, 8. Because there is no LCM to take it here. 0 is 0. There is no problem there. So, therefore, you will say that LCM is 24. Alright, LCM is 24. Make every number 24, friends. Make every number 24. How do you make it? Alright, now therefore you will say that, alright, now 4 into 6. 4 into 6, 24. Therefore make this also 4. Make this also 4. Okay. 8 into what? 3. 3 into 8, 24. Alright, 3 into 8, 24. Therefore this also becomes 3 into 3. Don't change the values. Yeah, what about the 0? Does not matter. What about the 0? Does not matter. Therefore, alright, now put it to perspective in the sense, if I will write it for the ease of understanding, I will write, there is a given solution. There is a replacement material, and there is a resultant solution, isn't it? What I have here is the resultant solution. There are 3 portions that I have. Given solution, what number I write, friends? I told you already what number I write. I write 5 into 4, 20. That is for 20. And what about the replacement? It is 0. And what about the resultant? 3 into 3, 9. All right, 3 into 3, 9. Then you do the allegation on this. You write 11 on one side and you write 9 on the other side. In the sense, now in the resultant, what has happened here is, in the resultant, the given solution comprises 9 portions and the replacement comprises of 11 portions. Yeah, but how much did you replace? Already you replaced 22. 11 corresponds to 22. Therefore, 9 corresponds to how much? 18. Why? Because into 2. Alright, both numbers are into 2. Therefore, what is the total quantity? The resultant is made up of these 2 values. As I told you already, the resultant is made up of both the values. Alright, both are there because the given solution now comprises of 18 liters. The result, then the replacement is 22 liters. The resultant has what? It has the part of given solution, also the replaced material put together. Therefore, you say that the put together it is 40, 18 plus 22, which is 40 liters. Therefore, what is the capacity of the cask? It was holding 40 liters. That's a point you are trying to make. Look, out of 40 liters of solution, you removed 22 liters of solution and replaced with liquid B. Thereby, you got the required concentration of solution A. Alright, now solution A. That's the point you are trying to make. I hope the point is very clear to you. Alright, it should be very, very clear to you by now. By now, it should be pretty clear, obvious by now. So how to use the allegation? I looked at all possible types out here in the allegation. The addition type I looked at, or the replacement type I looked at. Right now, all possible types I kind of looked here. All possible types I looked here. Let's now go to the replacement. Alright, replacement doing one time, I can use allegation. That's what you understood. If you just want to replace one time, you can use allegation. Hey, but what if I want to do replacement many times? I want to replace it again and again because I'm not getting the measurement right. Just like sometimes when you're cooking, what do? You put little salt and do. Already you put little salt and you taste. You feel that okay, it's not appropriate yet. It's not giving that taste. Then what do? You put little more salt into that. Already you put little more salt into that particular dish. Now you feel that okay, it is fine. Likewise, now sometimes while replacing, is the concentration proper or not? Sometimes you will not understand. Therefore, what you do, you take out little bit and then you you add little more water. Then you will check if the dilution fine. If not, you take out little more and then you put it, because sometimes we'll not get the measurement in the first go. Just like sometimes when you are making a sweet, already you add little bit of sugar and check, is the sweet enough? Already is the sweet good enough? If it is not enough, then you will put little more sugar, because sometimes you will not get the judgment in one go. That is what this replacement doing it multiple times is. Sometimes we will not get the judgment in one go. That's when we'll try to replace couple of times, or 2 times or 3 times or 4 times, whatever. More than one time. What I meant is more than one time we replace. Hey, in that case, how do I look at, or how do I look at the perspective? Now listen to me first. Listen to me carefully. Listen to me. I make 2 or 3 points here. I want you to get these points this very clearly and put this structure very firm in your mind. All right, it's a pretty easy one. All right, now we use it by using the concept of concentration, which you learn in the high school. Technically, all right, now this you learn in the high school, somewhere in the class 8 or 9. All right, that's where you learn this particular technique. Now listen to me very carefully. Let me take, all right, now let me take a vessel which has milk and water. All right, now milk and water. Look at that. A vessel contains X liters of milk, pure milk. Y liters be withdrawn. You remove Y liters and replace by water. What you are trying to do? You are trying to dilute it, right? You are trying to dilute the milk. Then again Y liters is withdrawn and replaced with water. Again Y liters are withdrawn and replaced with water. This can be repeated any number of times. All right, I just showed you 2 parts. Hey, it can be done third time, yeah. Can be done fourth time, yeah. All right, then the point here is what is the quantity of milk in the mixture, or what is the percentage concentration of milk, or it can be fraction form of the milk, whatever. All right, now the milk here. But listen to me carefully, friends. Now if the solution is made up of 2-3 points, I will make all 3 points. It should be clear to you before you work on these kind of questions. When you are working on solutions, for example, let me take it's a milk water solution. If you are replacing with water, replacing material is water. If the replacing material is water, then you need to focus on milk. Then you have to focus on milk. That should be the point right now. So what you are replacing, if you are replacing by water, then you should focus on milk, which means mathematically you should write the values for milk. Hey, what if I'm replacing by milk? I have a solution. I decided to increase the concentration of milk in that solution. Then you got to focus on water. Reverse way. If you are replacing it by water, focus on milk. If you are replacing it by milk, if the milk is the replacing material, because all right, from that cask you want to remove the milk and you want to remove the solution and want to add milk so that the concentration improves, then you better focus on water. All right, now these two go opposite. If the replacing material is water, then the focus should be on milk. Okay, now what I need to focus, that's the next question here. Now look at this. All right, now look at this. Focus on milk means milk. All right, now let us add a word there. That's a later proposition. Listen to me. You write milk is equal to, first you write the fraction form, initial concentration of milk. What is the initial concentration of milk? What is the initial concentration of milk in the given solution? Because sometimes it may be pure. If it is pure, 1 out of 1, that is 100 out of 100, right? If it is not pure, you better write it, because sometimes it can come in the diluted form. You already brought a milk which is diluted, possible. And therefore that number you should got to write there, initial concentration of milk. Then listen to me carefully, friends. Then the cycle 1, first cycle. I will tell you the first cycle. What you write in the first cycle is reading. Just remember this word. I will explain this. Reading. What is the reading? Assume that all right, now this is a beaker in which there is a reading. All right, now 100 ml, 200 ml, 300 ml. There is a reading there. Reading. All right, now there is a continuous reading. You can read it. All right, you can read it. Reading after removal. Reading after removal, you removed removal, divided by reading after replacement. What is the reading of the beaker? Reading after replacement. Reading after replacement. Assume that you are given a beaker, you just reading after removal and reading after replacement. Do a continuous reading. Then do the second cycle also similar to this. Second cycle also. Reading after removal. Just remember these words. Initial concentration of milk. Reading after removal. Reading after replacement. When you write these fractions, this is nothing but the concentration of milk expressed in the fraction form. Concentration of the milk expressed in the fraction form. Okay, let me illustrate this. Don't panic. Don't panic. Let me illustrate this using an example. Then we will come back again. We will write it. All right, we will write later. First, let's illustrate using this an example. From a cask of milk containing 80 liters, 20 liters are drawn out and replaced with water. All right, 20 liters are drawn out and replaced with water. If the process is repeated one more time, what is the quantity of milk left in the cask? Now listen, 2 times the replacement happened. So what is we are replacing? Replaced with water. This is the first thing that you got to notice. Replaced with water. If this is replaced with water, can't focus on what? All right, now the replacement. All right, 2 things. Hey, what is it is getting replaced by? Therefore, what is that I need to focus upon? If it is getting replaced by water, then you should focus on milk. then you should focus on milk. Okay, now what is asking here? Quantity of milk you want. Fine. So what I know how to write concentration of milk in fraction form. Let us write that. Hey, what is concentration of milk? Concentration of milk in which form? Fraction form. All right, concentration of milk, fraction form. Good. What I should be writing here initially? Initial concentration of milk, 80 liters of what is this? Pure milk. This just is author said milk. He didn't say it's a milk solution, pure milk. Good. I will write initial concentration one by one. Yeah, what is this, man? This is the initial concentration of milk. Why? Sometimes the given solution will not be in the pure form. All right, therefore I wrote the initial concentration of milk. Now look at the first cycle, friends. Look at the first cycle, friends. What's happening in the first cycle? Now look, this is your bag. This is your beaker. This is your beaker. The reading as of now is 80 liters. All right, reading as of now is 80 liters. Now what you are doing? 20 liters are drawn out. If the 20 liters are drawn out, the reading will be 60 liters. Your reading will be 60 liters. That is what you should be reading in the writing in the numerator. Reading after removal, you removed it. Therefore, how much, what is the reading of the milk now? Reading of the milk will now be 60 liters. It was earlier 80 liters. You removed 20 liters. Therefore, the reading is 60 liters. Good. And then what did you do? Replace. Replace means what? Whatever you removed, you are going to put it back. All right. When you put it back, again, the reading will be back to 80. Again the reading will be back to 80 because you put back those 20 liters. Reading is back to 80. Good. Therefore, what is the current reading now? 80 liters. Good. Cycle 2. Cycle 2. Reading after removal. How much you are removing, friends? You are removing again 20 liters, which means reading is back to 60. Reading is back to 60. Reading of the beaker. Hey, you just focus on the beaker reading, man. That's it. You don't worry about how much milk is there, etc., etc. You just focus on the reading in the beaker. All right, sometimes it is touching 60, sometimes it is touching 80, sometimes it is touching 60. Just focus on the reading on the beaker. You don't bother about how much milk is there. You bother about what is the beaker reading. That's it. Okay, now all right, now so far what did we do? Again, if the process is repeated one more time. One more time means what? Again 20 liters is removed. Okay, therefore it's 60 now. Reading is 60. Replaced, all right, removed and replaced with water. Replaced means what? Again 20 liters added. 20 liters added means the reading has become back to 80 liters. Good. All right, it is back to 80 liters. What I want you to do is you focus on reading. Numerator is what? Reading after removal. Denominator is what? Reading after replacement. Keep writing this, guys. This is the concentration of the milk in the fraction form. Hey, what is the concentration of milk in the fraction form? 3 by 4 into 3 by 4. 9 by 16, whatever is that number, don't bother. 9 by 16 is the concentration of milk in the fraction form. Now listen, but he wants the quantity of milk. He wants the quantity of milk. If you want the quantity of milk, all right, this is the concentration of milk. This is the concentration of milk. But author says that, hey, I want quantity of milk. I don't want concentration. Fine. Concentration of milk will be 9 by 16 times of final reading. Final reading. How much milk, how much solution you have? How much solution you have as of now? In that solution, the milk is going to be 9 out of 16 parts, which means what? If the total is 16, the milk is 9. Tell me what is the total. I will tell you how much quantity of milk is there. Tell me just the final reading here. What is the final reading? 80 liters, because finally you stood at 80 liters. Therefore, the required answer is how much? 9 by 16 into 80, all right, which is nothing but 45 liters. Finally, there is a 45 liters of milk and 35 liters of water. If the same question is tell me quantity of water, same question you would have done. You would have found out that there is a 45 liters milk. The out of what? Total of 80. If 80 liters is the total, if 45 is the milk, then the remaining 35 is water. Water also we could have said that. Hey, if you ask the concentration of milk in percentage, if you ask the concentration of milk in percentage, fine. I could have done what? Concentration of milk is in the fraction form. I will multiply this by 100. I will convert it to percentage, which means once you have the concentration in the fraction form, you can convert it to whatever you want. You want the quantity, I can tell you. You want a percentage, I can tell you. All right, now basically what I get is the concentration. Okay, points. All right, now what are the things that we are talking about? Focus on the initial concentration. Then what? Focus on the reading. Reading after removal, reading after replacement. Again, reading after removal, reading after replacement. Nothing else. It's a pretty simple proposition. All right, very, very simple proposition. If you have got this particular point, we are done. Okay, let me do a couple of questions now. Let me do a couple of questions. Done, guys. We are into the last 15 minutes of the lecture. Last 15 minutes of the lecture. Just about 3 or 4 more examples and we are done with this concept. All right, we are done with this concept. Let's take a look at the next one. Let's take a look at the next one. Take a look at the next one. Make your own notes clearly, properly. Once I take these 4 examples on replacement, everything will be crystal clear. Everything would be crystal clear. Okay, do it with me. Do it with me. We are just into the last 10-15 minutes of the lecture. We are done. Right? Focus. All right, push yourself. Understand this concept. From a container containing 40 liters of pure milk. All right, now what is that I have? 40 liters of pure milk. Okay, so therefore, how do I write it here? All right, then first let me find out what is the replaced. Replaced with water. So all right, now replacing material. I need to be clear. Therefore, focus on milk. Focus on milk. All right, write the equation for milk. Okay, therefore I will be writing for what? Concentration of milk, friends. Concentration of milk, fraction form. We always, just like the percentages chapter we learned, fractions are our friends already in the percentage. Although author talks percentage, what is our friend? Fraction. Similarly, even in replacement kind of problems, what is our friend? Fractions are our friends. Fractions are friends. I don't focus on percentage immediately, neither I focus on the quantity immediately. I focus on the fraction. All right, for fraction, how do I get my fractions? From the reading. All right, reading, just I have to keep reading on the beaker, whatever the readings changing on the beaker, that's it. Now take a look at this here. Concentration of milk. Concentration of milk here. First, initially pure, author said pure milk here, therefore one by one initial concentration. You don't have to write in the exam once you understand it's pure, but if it is not, you better write that concentration of milk you wrote. That's the first portion. Cycle 1, first cycle. Now look at the first cycle. Reading after removal. How many liters did you remove, man? 4 liters. What was the initial reading? Initial reading was 40 liters. Initial reading was 40 liters. What did you do? You removed 4 liters. You removed 4 liters. Therefore, what is the reading now? 36. Write that, 36. And what did you do now? Replaced with water. Replace means what? The word replacements means you add that much, whatever you removed, you add that much back to it. Fine. I'll add 4 back to this. Therefore, what is the final reading now? 40 liters. Final reading 40 liters. You focus on reading, you don't bother, it will automatically give the concentration of milk. All your duty is you focus on the reading of the question. That is it. You focus on the reading. Great. Second cycle, friends. Let's go to the second cycle. So where are we now? 40 liters. The reading is 40 liters as of now. You finished one cycle. At the end of the first cycle, what is your reading? 40 liters. Fine. So now what did you do? 5 liters are drawn out. Good. If the 5 liters are drawn out, 5 liters are drawn out, then the reading will be 35 liters. 5 liters are drawn out, the reading is 35 liters. Good. Okay, then replaced with water. Replace means you add 5 liters back. All right, therefore back to 40 liters now. All right, back to 40 liters. Second cycle is done. Second cycle is done. Let me go to the third cycle. Cycle 3, third cycle. We'll go to the third cycle. What is the existing reading? 40 liters. What is the existing reading? 40 liters. Cycle 2 is complete. You need to know what is the reading at the end of the second cycle. 40 liters. It's here. That number is here. 40 liters. So therefore, what you are saying? Okay, 40. How much you are removing now? 8 liters are drawn out. 8 liters are drawn out. Then the reading is going to be, if 8 liters are drawn out, the reading would be 32 liters. 32 liters. Write that, 32. Okay, then replace. The word replace means you add back 8 liters. Therefore, it becomes 40. Now, this is the concentration in the fraction form. Once I have the concentration, I can work whatever author is desired to, or whatever author is willing us to work. Okay, simplify this. Or let's simplify this. From here, you will write this as 9 by 10. This is 7 by 8. This is 7 by 8, and this is 4 by 5. 4 by 5. Right now, these are the numbers that you write to the perspective here. All right, these are the numbers that you would have written here. Right, therefore, you would say that this is 4 2 times. Simplify this. Therefore, you will say that 63 divided by 100. 63 divided by 100. This is the concentration of milk in what form? Fraction form. Good. Now the question here is, what is the first question? I want the quantity of milk left in the cask. Quantity of milk is how much? Good. Quantity of milk means what? I need to multiply quantity of milk. If I want now the quantity of milk, concentration of milk, that is 63 by 100, into what is the final reading? Final reading is 40 liters. Finally, you have 40 liters of milk into final reading. You should remember the final reading. Where did you stop the problem? That's nothing but the last number that you write. This 40 is the last number that you wrote into 40. All right, therefore you will say that 63 by 100 into 40. This is 2 times. This is 5 times. All right, therefore you will say that okay, this is nothing but this is nothing but 126 by 5. 126 by 5, which is nothing but 25.2 liters. You will say that the final quantity of milk is 25.2 liters. Good. What is the final concentration of milk? We already know fraction form is this. Percentage form, 63%. All it depends. Answer is given in what form? All it answer is given in what form? Okay, in the same question, what is the ratio of milk and water? That also can be asked. What is the ratio of milk and water? Sometimes they will ask another question saying that, hey, in the final one, what is the ratio of milk and water? From here only you can answer. If the milk is total is 100 portion. All right, there is a milk, there is a water, there is a total. Hey, how much is the milk? 63. Hey, how much is the total? 100. Hey, therefore, what is the water? Milk. Wow, total minus milk is nothing but the water. All right, which is nothing but another 37 portions. Therefore, sometimes they will ask, tell me the ratio of milk and water in the final solution. You would have written the answer as 63 is to 37. Right now, all these are the variations of the same question, same answer, variations of the questions that can be created on the same information here. All right, on the same information. I hope everybody is getting the perspective on this. Okay, most important thing is writing this. This is the most important thing. The moment you know how to write this, your job is over. All right, your job is that. Your job is, okay, do I know how to write these cycles? Do I know how to write the first cycle, second cycle, third cycle? I just have to focus on the reading. If you got that particular part, you are done. All right, you are done. You got this concept of replacement very clear. Okay, here you take the example. Here you take the example. I will give good 1 to 2 minutes for this. I want you to hit answers for both the questions, friends. I want you to hit the answer for both the questions. I will give you good 1 or 2 minutes. Start. Start. Yeah, beautiful question. Beautiful question. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. Beautiful question, right? Now, so you got to focus on the readings clearly. Now, what happened? A cask contain 80 liters of 75% concentrated milk. It's not pure. So it's already in a diluted form. That's a milk water solution. Therefore, you will start by writing, right? Concentration of milk. You'll write concentration of milk. How? Already concentration of milk, fraction form. Initial concentration 75%. What is 75%, friends? 3 by 4. That's a starting point. Because I said that if it is not pure, you better write it. Therefore, I was writing 1 by 1 as a matter of practice, habit. Right now, we'll write that so that already now it's not that, okay, we forget that point. So therefore, already now as a habit, already now create the right habit. That 1 by 1 should come into your mind. Whether you write or not is a different issue. Right? That's a point. Okay, what is the initial concentration? 3 by 4. Good. Now focus on the first cycle, guys. Focus on the first cycle. 20 liters are drawn out. 20 liters are drawn. You may be writing, hey, why you are directly writing the concentration of milk? Because we read the question, right? Water is added, water is added, water is added. If water is added, then naturally you got to focus on the concentration of milk only, right? Therefore, you wrote 3 by 4. First cycle, 20 liters are drawn out. Hey, what is the initial reading? 80. What is the initial reading of the cask? If there is a cask. Hey, what is the initial reading? 80 liters. The 20 liters are removed. 20 liters are removed. What is the reading? 60. 60, cycle 1, 60, 20 liters are removed. 30 liters is added. Okay, from the 60, you are adding 30 liters to this. Then what is the reading now? 90. Then the reading becomes 90. It's fine. Alright, the cask is big enough to hold. It is not overflowing or something. It is not a 80-liter cask. Alright, there is enough place in the cask. This fellow added. Therefore, the word is not replaced. Water is added, he said. Because while adding, you can add little more. If the word is replaced, then the 20 means 20 only you can put back. That's what you mean by replace. Replace means whatever you have taken, you got to put back that much. But here author is very clear. He's saying that I added 30 liters is added. Good. 60 plus 30, 90. Now the reading is at 90, friends. Now the reading is at 90. Alright, reading is at 90. Okay, the cask you have 90 is the reading as of now. 90 liters is the reading. Now what is happening? 10 liters is removed. 10 liters is drawn out. Okay, 10 liters is drawn out. The reading becomes 80 liters. Okay, now it is 80. Then what the author is saying? 40 is added back. Oh, come on. Now let 40 is adding back. 80 plus 40. Alright, it becomes 120 liters. Then the reading becomes 120 liters. Fair enough. We'll write 120. We'll write 120, no issues. Alright, whatever you are adding, alright, your choice, author's choice. Okay, so therefore now where are we? We are at 120 liters. We are at 120 liters. Great. Now what is what you're doing here? 30 liters is drawn out. 120, you're drawing out 30 liters. Reading 90 liters. Therefore, reading 90 liters. After drawing out, you should write the reading. Then again, adding back 20 liters of water is added. Alright, 90, you are adding 20 to it. You are adding 20 to it. If you add 20 to it, what it becomes? 110. 110. Just for your information, what is the final reading? What is the final reading in the beaker? Final reading, all right, reading, final reading in the beaker. Final reading is 110 liters. Let's be very mindful. You might have started with 80 liters, but you are finally ending up with 110 liters. That's it. All because the variation, the way we worked out, we ended up with 110 liters. Therefore, in the first question, quantity of milk left, quantity of milk left. Now look, concentration is in the form of a fraction, right? Let's write the concentration first. Let's understand what is the concentration. This 90 cuts off, 90 cuts off here, right? Now this is 61 time, this is 2 time, 4 into 2, 8 cuts off with this particular time, 0 cuts off. All right, therefore ultimately you have 3 divided by 11. Concentration of milk is 3 divided by 11, that is 27.27%. All right, finally the concentration of milk is 27.27%. Very diluted. You started off with 75%. The way you worked on this particular question, you are ultimately left with 27.27%. No worries, that's what we are left with. Okay, but the question here is, a find the final quantity of milk. Quantity of milk. Good. Concentration is 3 by 11. Quantity means what is the concentration? 3 liters is the milk. If the total is 11 liters, total is 11 liters, solution is 11 liters, then 3 liters is the milk. But the point is, what is the total? Total is not 80, friends. Total is not 80. Final reading, you should know what is the total that you have now. Now you have in your beaker 110 liters. Therefore, you are trying to say that your answer is nothing but, or your answer is nothing but 30 liters. 30 liters is the milk now. All right, 30 liters is the milk now. Fine. If you ask that how much is the water, in the same question, if I say that, man, you tell me what is the quantity of water, same. Total is what? 110. How much is the milk out of this? 30. Therefore, what about the remaining 80? That is the water. Water is remaining 80 liters. 80 liters is the water, and so on. All right, now that's how you can talk about concentration of milk. All right, if it is a percentage, I can look at the same number. I can write this as 27.27%. That's a percentage form. Right, by now I think it should be very clear to you. This game of solid replacement should be pretty clear and obvious. All right, by now, pretty clear by now. Solve this question. One last question. Let's solve this. Let's call this all this, friends. It was a cat question long time back. Solve this question. All of them, in fact, what I did on the replacements were all exam questions. Here we do. Take a minute. Last question. We'll close with this. Get the answer. Yes, done. Good. Good. Here we go. Right now, let's say that, okay, initial volume is, let me just work it out. Let me work it out. Despite you getting the answer, let me work it out. Let the initial volume be V. Assume that there is a V amount of liquid initially. Let the initial volume be V. All right, now, so the initial drawn out from a vessel full of wine. So did he say that it's any adulterated wine or a diluted wine? No. If nothing is said, you should take it as a pure. We can't say that the answer is cannot be determined because you didn't say whether it is pure or not. Absence of pure implies that pure. All right, now it's pure. If nothing is mentioned about being diluted, it's pure form, right? So therefore you will say that, so what is that? Filled with water. So then it is then filled with water. You are replacing by water. Therefore what? Focus on what? Focus on wine. So therefore you are talking about the concentration of wine. Concentration of wine. Initially how much, friends? 1 by 1. Good. 1 by 1. What is the initial reading? You write 1 by 1, no problem. Initial reading is 1 by 1. That you write it as a matter of practice. Otherwise, like, you can ignore writing 1 by 1. What is the initial volume? V. That's a reading. But reading after removal, how much did you remove? You remove 10 gallons. Generally all it towards US side, they speak in terms of gallons, isn't it? Yeah, gallons quantity. So the liquid, they're talking in terms of gallons. You remove the 10 gallons of this. 10 gallons is removed. What is the reading now? V minus 10. I don't know. So I will write as V minus 10. Earlier we had number 80. 80 minus 20, we wrote 60. But I don't know, this time it is V, or this time it is V, because ultimately author wanted to know what is V, what is the vessel, what is the capacity of this vessel. Assume that it is V basically, right? Now it is V. So what is that V is what the question here is. Therefore V minus 10, that is the quantity after removal, reading after removal. What about replacement? He's saying that it is filled with water again, filled with water. Okay, therefore it's a full, or basically it was a full, or this is a capacity of this particular vessel is V. Okay, then divided by what? V, because you replaced it. Now we said that 10 gallons of the mixture are again drawn out, all right, once again. Therefore V minus 10, once again they did that, 10 gallons are drawn out, and again it is filled with water. Filled with water means already it's already full. The capacity itself is solid. Now V is the capacity of this. All right, how much does the vessel hold? V is the what the vessel hold, right? Yeah, then he's saying that find the quantity of wine now left, the quantity of, sorry, find the quantity of wine now left to the water is this, wine to water. You are writing concentration of water. What is the meaning of concentration of water, friends? Concentration of wine, sorry, what is concentration of wine, friends? Wine by total. It is not wine by water. All right, it is wine by, all right, it's nothing but wine by total basically, right? No, wine by total. But this is what, which means the concentration that you are writing is wine by total. Therefore you write the figures also wine by total. What do you mean by wine by total? Wine is 49. Total is what? Wine and water put together is the total. Simple. That's the meaning of the ratio. He has given the ratio of wine and water. But what you are writing here is wine by, well, this is nothing but wine by total, because concentration is always wine out of total. Concentration of milk means milk out of total. It is not milk versus water. That's not called concentration. Therefore, let us solve this now. All right, now therefore I would be solving this. I would be solving this for the value of V. Simple. All right, therefore you are saying that V by 10 by V whole square is also equal to twice. All right, whole square is nothing but 49 divided by 81. Take the square root on both the sides. Therefore you write V by 10 by V is nothing but plus or minus. You should be writing plus or minus 7 by 9, but minus does not make sense. The capacity cannot be negative, right? Therefore all it now, so we are writing it as 7 by 9. You are writing it as 7 by 9. We'll simplify. All right, therefore 9V minus 90 is also is nothing but 7V. Thereby you say that hey, V is nothing but 45 liters. Basically the vessel used to hold 45 liters. Out of 45 liters, 45 gallons, sorry, 45 gallons. All right, gallons, 45 gallons. You used to remove 10 gallons out of that. So how much does the vessel hold? Answer option is for nothing but 45 gallons. I guess all right, now all of you pretty much understood this replacement part as well. I primarily covered two wonderful concepts here. All right, one, we talked about the alligation. It's nothing but a part of weighted average. When the ratio of the quantity is the question mark, that is when we use the alligation. Then go through the lecture. All right, now through the lecture we looked at the variations of it. I talked about when you add water, we talked about the concentration part there. When you add water, what happens? When you replace it, what happens? All right, I talked to one-time replacement can be solved using alligation. Hey, what if the replacement happens multiple times? That is what I took up towards the end of the lecture. All right, revise this once again in case some portions are not clear. I suggest revise once again. Then what you do on the alligations and replacement put together, solve about 20 odd questions, 20 and 20 plus 10 questions, maybe about 20 questions on alligation and about 10 questions on replacements will give a good strong hold in this particular topic. Simple topic. You got to develop a strong hold on this, because you will definitely find questions based on these two concepts in most of the management entrance exam or any entrance exam that you write. This is one of the authors already examiner's favorite topic. Therefore ensure that you develop the good skills, the quicker skills in this particular topic. Follow the, or go back and take a proper notes on this particular lecture. So I stop here. I guess all of you learned through this particular lecture. You enjoyed as much as I enjoyed. I will see you in my next video. Bye till then. Stay blessed.